What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Bailey Canning. I'm an independent marketing strategist running my own agency called Inbound Web Development, where we work exclusively with architecture firms to help them transform their website into the ultimate marketing machine so they can generate more project leads, sign their ideal clients, and ultimately grow revenues. In today's video, I'm going to be going over why Webflow is the best website platform for, I would say, all service-based businesses, but specifically architecture firms. So if your firm is in the middle of considering redesigning its website and is exploring different website and CMS platforms to use, this video is going to be super helpful because you're going to get a complete overview of why Webflow is the best website platform and builder today, along with how it compares to the competition such as Wix, Squarespace, and WordPress. And finally, I'm going to give you a real life client example at the end of this video so you can see for yourself really quickly if this might be an ideal solution for you and your firm. If that sounds good to you, make sure to stick around and watch the full video. But before you do that, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be putting out YouTube videos just like this, all about how to grow your architecture firm with digital marketing. So I've been building websites for probably over 5 years now, and I first started out building sites in WordPress. I always knew about Webflow, but honestly, it took me a while to make the shift fully over. But now in my agency and all the client work I'm taking on, as long as my own website platforms, I'm only using Webflow going forward. Now, one of the main benefits of using Webflow is that overall, it significantly cuts down on the development time to get your website live, meaning that your firm is going to be able to get that new website online much faster than other solutions such as WordPress. This is, of course, critical. Think about the fact that when you're designing and strategizing to create a website, when it's in the background until it's live, it's not helping your firm generate business results. So time to market, getting the website done in an efficient, timely manner is super important, and Webflow is going to allow you to do that. Another thing that makes the design and development process a lot easier and faster with Webflow is that there are a ton of really awesome design frameworks. So one I've been using a lot is called System Flow, and there's another one I've been experimenting with called Rayloom Library. And these frameworks allow you to first design the website in a wireframing tool like Figma, and then you can then create a design library from your wireframe designs, and then you can then import that very quickly, very seamlessly into Webflow and maintain all the styles, spacing, global elements, etc. This really cuts down on the design and development time because we're already starting with a design library, which we're then going to customize to the client's project. And then from there, we're able to take that design and seamlessly import it into Webflow versus having to start from scratch with a blank Webflow project. Probably shaves like a third off of the design and development time right off the bat, just using a design framework like that. The next reason why I believe Webflow is a great platform today to build websites on is that it is super easy to maintain and manage. And one of the main reasons why is that at the end of the day, Webflow is actually a pretty minimalist solution. So if we think about the technologies, the coding technologies used on the web, that's going to be primarily HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And Webflow only outputs those 3 coding languages. So this is a completely different situation versus something like WordPress, which uses PHP and a lot of other different coding technologies, where essentially there's just a lot more going on. And because there's a lot more going on, it's going to be harder to maintain and manage. And ultimately, of course, one of the other benefits of using Webflow is that everything is built in from the hosting, which is connected right to AWS, Amazon Web Services. And 2, there's not an entire plugin ecosystem for different things that your site might need, like SEO, like site speed optimization. So everything you need to design and develop a high performing website for your architecture firm is built in. And so you don't need to worry about basically having all these different vendors and outside services connected to your website. Whereas with WordPress, if you have an SEO plugin, if you have a site speed plugin, etc., those are going to be created by other companies. And you're going to be basically reliant on, at the end of the day, perhaps up to 10 different companies managing different aspects of your website. That also gets me to one of the other points I wanted to make here, which is the support system. So WordPress is open source, meaning there isn't really a company behind it, the open source version of WordPress. However, Webflow is a venture-backed startup with hundreds of millions of funding. I think they're valued at over $1 billion. And so they're not going anywhere. And also, because they are a company, they're able to actually provide you support. So if you run into issues with your website, you can actually send them over your login information, and then their support team will get back to you and help you diagnose and resolve the issues you're experiencing. Whereas with WordPress, there is no support team built in. You might be able to find support based on the different plugins you have installed. But in general, for the WordPress site itself, there is not a place you can go to. The last thing I wanted to mention is that when it comes to editing content on the website, so perhaps if you wanted to go in and change out some images or update some copy, or publishing new content, so maybe blog posts, portfolio pages, videos, podcasts, it's super, super easy because Webflow allows you to build out a custom tailored CMS, content management system. So instead of needing to go into the backend of the website and messing with code and like duplicating pages and trying to like build together these blocks with like a custom solution like WordPress, instead we can have it set up for our clients where if they want to add a new portfolio project, it's as simple as logging into the website, navigating to the portfolio section, and filling out a form. All in all, Webflow is undoubtedly, in my mind at least, the best website building tool today on the market. And I've used every solution like I've talked about. But when we just think about the fact that it's far easier to design and develop the website in a much faster time frame, there's going to be way less technical errors and bugs you need to troubleshoot during that process. You're able to get the website up and running super fast as a result. And then once it is up and running, it's going to be super easy to maintain and manage the website with new content. If you ever run into any issues, there's a dedicated support team who's going to be able to help you out right away. Hosting is included, right built into the box. The site loads super quickly, so there's not a ton of optimization you need to do to get the website to load quickly, unlike with WordPress. So those are just a couple of the reasons why I think Webflow is the best website building tool today. However, let's actually dive into what a real live Webflow project looks like for an architecture firm so you can see for yourself if it's going to be a good solution for your firm. Now I wanted to give you a real life client example of a Webflow website built for a modern architecture studio. So this is one of my clients, 1070 Architecture. And this was actually the first website I ever built in Webflow almost 2 full years ago. And I don't want to get too far into it because I did a full video case study on this, which I will link in the description somewhere. But the reason why we ended up choosing Webflow for this project was because some of the things you see here in terms of the animations and the video backgrounds, as well as some of the scroll effects, which we'll get to in a second here, we're basically going to require a custom solution that only something like Webflow was going to be able to provide in this case. So that's why we went with it. And honestly, it's been really, really effective from a digital marketing perspective. Again, full case study video in the description to check that out. But one of the things I wanted to talk about here was to show you what the client experience looks like when managing and updating content on a Webflow website. So as you can see here, I'm logged in, and right here, I can just hit edit site. And then that's going to bring us to the editor. And from here, we have a couple different options. So first of all, like I said, my client has access to this. They can just go in if they want to, and they can say if they want to like change this headline here, they can just click in and start editing it just like a Word document, for example. So I'm going to put this back because I don't know what else I would say here, honestly. But I think you get the idea. If they wanted to add or change out this image, they could do that as well. So basically the main types of content that they would want to change, they can easily do that. They can update these links as well. Now let's take a look at the CMS. And the CMS is essentially what allows you to build dynamic websites. So basically, for example, we can have a blog post template, and then all of our blog posts will be dynamically implemented into that template. So the content will change. However, the design that the page is in does not. So let me give you an example here. If we go into, so these are different collections we've set up here. And so for example, we have one for blog posts already. And these are basically already completed blog posts. However, if the client did want to add a new one, all they need to do is hit add a new blog post. And then essentially here, what they would do is they fill out the title, they fill out the slug, which is the URL after the domain. They pick an author, they upload a featured image, they select which category this belongs to, and then they just enter in the post copy here. Oftentimes, probably just copy and paste from a Google Doc. And then we have some other options if we want this to be featured on the sidebar. If there's a video, we can add a video link here. If there's an image gallery, we can add that here as well. And then basically all they need to do is add in the SEO title and meta description, and then they can go ahead and publish the blog if they wanted to. Another thing where the CMS comes in handy is team members. So basically what we can do is just have an entire basically team member section built out for the employees of the company. And then basically we can have a bio, what they do, who they are, and then some photos here as well. Same thing goes for videos. If we have a video here, here's like a design rewind series the client has been doing. Basically, then they can go in and just update the content as well and post it themselves. So they're actually on a marketing plan, so I do all this for them. However, it is pretty straightforward for them to go in and do this themselves as well. And of course, you got to talk about portfolio projects. So basically, these are the different projects we already have set up here. And if they wanted to go in and let's see, say this project, they wanted to add in a new project to the website. I'm just showing you existing ones, but if they wanted to add it, again, you'd have to fill out a blank form. All they have to do is enter in the project name, the featured image, which is in like the hero section, a project overview right here, and then another featured image. And then these are some optional content if the project requires that, but it's not necessary. And if they don't fill that out, then it just doesn't display on this particular project. And then finally, they can just upload images as well. So that's a pretty brief overview of all the benefits of using Webflow. I think this video is going to be super helpful if you are an architecture firm and you guys are considering redesigning your website and exploring different website platforms. In terms of next steps, you want to see how Webflow fits into the entire web design and development process, then definitely check out that video case study. Link will be in the description somewhere. And essentially there you can see how we used it in a complete actual real life client example specific to the architecture industry. Also, of course, Webflow's got a ton of awesome resources that you can just Google Webflow, go on their website, and start learning everything you possibly want to learn about the platform itself. Personally, I am putting my money exactly where my mouth is and only using Webflow going forward. Even though I have a lot of experience with WordPress, I've stopped offering it as a solution to clients because at the end of the day, it took longer to get a website up and running. The end product was inferior to Webflow. And then finally, because it was harder to develop and harder to maintain, and led to a slower development time, I actually had to charge my clients more for a process that takes longer and ultimately delivers an inferior product, which after thinking about it, I just realized was unacceptable, quite frankly. I really do believe what I am saying, which is that Webflow is the best website building platform on the market today. And if you're thinking about redesigning your architecture firm's website, I would strongly recommend Webflow as the go-to website builder. All right, thanks for watching this video. Like I said, like the video, subscribe. I'm going to be putting out content just like this going forward all the time, all about how to grow your architecture firm with digital marketing strategies. If you are considering redesigning your firm's website, then definitely feel free to book a free strategy session with me where I will answer any questions you may have and explain to you more of what the process would look like, and also as well help you brainstorm some digital marketing solutions for your firm. So if you are interested in that, then there'll be a link in the video description here, which will take you to a form where you can fill that out, and then you can get in touch with me right away, and I'll be happy to help you out. All right, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Bye.